Archaeologists were scared of the truth behind the Sphinx. A monument that comes to mind right away when we think of ancient Egypt is the Sphinx. Egypt is mentioned. The Sphinx, one of the Giza pyramid complex's most well-known monuments, despite being one of the oldest structures in existence, there are still a lot of mysteries surrounding it. Hello and welcome to KYC News. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. The Great Sphinx of Giza is 240 feet long and is 66 feet tall. The Sphinx was once the biggest structure of any kind ever constructed, and it continues to be so today. It is one of the world's largest statues. The Sphinx, unlike the huge pyramids, is not constructed from various construction blocks, but from the rock itself. Nevertheless, more recently, a few limestone blocks have been installed as part of the Sphinx's renovation. According to many historians, the Sphinx was built sometime during Khufu's reign. Probably during the rule of his father, Khufu, who is regarded as the architect of the pyramids. There is little doubt that Khufu ordered the construction of the Great Pyramid complex, although the Sphinx's background is much more nuanced. No one has ever been successful and no one can definitively say when the Sphinx was constructed. All dates are only conjectures. Certain historians genuinely think that the Sphinx might have been a few thousand years older than the pyramids. This is noteworthy because it suggests that the Sphinx may have existed before the Old Kingdom of Egypt itself, indicating the possibility of some form of a civilization that truly goes back before the known ancient Egyptian civilization. The Sphinx was not built by Khufu, according to many historians today. Rather, he merely discovered it. Just to be clear, there is no historical record or calendar that provides any information. However, there is some damage that could provide us with some information regarding the Sphinx's construction. You may already be aware of this, but Giza is situated in the middle of a desert. Perhaps as early as 2500 BC, Giza was still a desert at this time, when many people believed the Sphinx was constructed. And the annual rainfall there was quite minimal. Giza, though, wasn't always arid. In fact, if we go back 5,000 years, Giza may have experienced weather more akin to that of a tropical rainforest. Near the equator, you would observe. Deep inside the Sphinx's construction, erosion may be seen. With Giza's current environment, such an amount of erosion would be nearly unthinkable. Additionally, given the environment in Giza 4,500 years ago, it would be impossible. However, erosion like that would have been practically unavoidable if we could travel back in time to about 9,000 years. Even though many have rejected it as ordinary sand erosion rather than water erosion seems improbable. Anthony West, an Egyptologist, actually made the decision to terminate the excavation versus water erosion argument. He captured on camera the Sphinx's erosion without the use of any filters. Sphinx itself was visible, and the top geologist at the University of Oxford was seeing it. I questioned him about whether the damage in the image was caused by sand erosion or water erosion. When he showed the scholar the image, the expert insisted that it was water erosion. The academic later changed his mind and suggested that it might have been sand erosion. You can decide for yourself what the erosion might have been caused by. Sand loss is generated by wind, and it typically manifests on the rock as a jagged, uneven, and pointy appearance. On the other side, water erosion typically causes the rocks to appear smoother, and in contrast to sand erosion, the Sphinx clearly shows signs of water erosion. But wait, doesn't the Nile River occasionally flood? What if that was the cause of the erosion? It's true that the Nile River does occasionally flood. However, if it were the cause, most of the consequences of the Sphinx's erosion would be visible near the structure's base. However, if you pay great attention, the summit of the Sphinx is where erosion has been most severe. Not at the base. The Sphinx hasn't eroded in the past, which is another factor to take into account. Hundreds of years. This indicates that whatever initially caused the erosion was not a regularly occurring natural phenomenon currently in existence. This demonstrates once more that the Sphinx is substantially older than we estimated it to be thousands of years. However, there isn't really a consensus in history as to when we can all very much believe whatever we want about the origins of the Sphinx since it was constructed. There is a more recent puzzle involving the Sphinx, at least when compared to its age. The issue of how it lost its nose is that. Similar to the query, the age of the Sphinx is another topic where academic opinion is divided. The Sphinx's original features included a full humanoid nose and a beard that resembled your phony beard. Would observe on numerous Egyptian pharaohs. The Sphinx's beard has been found in pieces. But to this day, not even a single remnant of the nose has been located. Among the earliest drawings, we don't even know when the Sphinx's nose was lost because the depictions likewise show the nose to be absent. One widely accepted theory is that Napoleon's soldiers fired a cannon directly towards the Sphinx's face, but this one is highly improbable given how significant the Egypt's historical antiquities were presented to Napoleon during his expedition there. And seriously harming the Sphinx would not be considered a small matter. A different theory is that during its first excavation it may have unintentionally suffered harm, which doesn't seem terribly absurd assertion, but neither are there any official records of something similar occurring. Nowadays, one of the most popular hypotheses regarding the missing nose is that it was caused by a local Sufi Muslim monarch. Viewed the Sphinx as an idol, and when he observed some townspeople presenting the Sphinx with offerings, he attempted to demolish the entire building but was only able to damage its nose. There is no proof that any of these events truly took place. They are all just hypotheses. Considering that the nose and beard were features that stuck out, there's also a very plausible potential that they might not have had the assistance they required to stay atop the Sphinx, and just wasn't able to endure the test of time. Now it should be clear why the Great Sphinx is the subject of so many rumors and beliefs. It's one of the most spectacular buildings ever built, possibly too magnificent for its own good. Many individuals think that the technology wasn't even there to construct something so massive. Regardless of whether it was constructed 4,500 years ago or 9,000 years ago, as a result, some people believe that the construction of the Great Pyramid may have involved outside assistance outside the globe, a Sphinx. Thousands of years ago, when mankind couldn't create something like this, aliens might have been able to eons ago. According to some views, the Sphinx may not have been some sort of alien emblem, and that it was the location of an alien landing in the past. Of course, we're not claiming that to be the case, but hey, even NASA hasn't come out and said we won't fully reject the possibility of alien life either. However, there is one aspect of the Sphinx on which experts agree, and it is the fact that it appeared very differently than it does now. Aside from the erosion, the broken nose, and the ceremonial beard that just sort of dropped additionally, the Sphinx had other features that are now entirely vanished. The biggest distinction is that the Sphinx was painted. The Sphinx was painted in a variety of vivid hues. Its face and torso were entirely covered in crimson, while the beard was painted blue and the hair was painted purple. There was a golden or gold headgear or crown. The paint slowly deteriorated over time, leaving the Sphinx with its exposed limestone, as opposed to how it was intended to appear. Presently there are no intentions to restore any of the Sphinx's original paint, mostly because there is already so much of it. It would be impossible to concentrate on the paint right now due to the extensive severe structural problems. It is quite amazing how a building that was the origins of something so historically significant may have such divergent theories, and very little scholarly agreement on pretty much anything related to it. We'd love to hear your Sphinx-related theories in the comments section below. The video has come to an end. If it was enjoyable, for more videos like this, be sure to give us a like and subscribe to our channel.